self-care. That's one of the topics today. But I also want to take time to say good evening to everyone. Captain85 on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. But right now, I want to pay a little congratulations to Dr. Adolf Brown, who's been nominated for a TV award for his, the Critical Choice Real TV Award, the Critics Choice Real TV Award nominee. Yes, for the best relationship show. Dr. Adolf Brown is a friend and a colleague. We have worked on different things, and also he's called Professor B in my upcoming coloring book that deals with mental health, bullying, and things on gun violence, as we try to get our young people to focus on the gifts that they have and not just the things that they have to face every day without being able to talk to someone about it. But we'll be talking about that as well. Once again, he's on ABC. I guess when he come back on for this new show for this year, it's usually on 13, ABC 13 here on Thursdays. So I'll check your local listening, and I will inform you that when his show began again. And once again, congratulations to the Dr. Brown. It's called The Parenting. It's such a great opportunity to be to know such a great person, and he's always there to help and to inspire people all the time. He's a great speaker, and I definitely enjoy, the opportunity, to be a part of, uh, knowing that, someone I know that got his own TV show. And it's just a great time for that, with all the problems that we face. And the parenting test is, if you haven't seen it, it is on Hulu. If you got Hulu, you can go there and put in the parenting test and watch, the episode. It deals with families, with the kids, and it was a great show. I just want to also bring one of the gentlemen that he's waving. It's been a long time. Matter of fact, it's been so long that he even looked different. When I first met him, he was like a teenager. Now he looked like a grown man. Hey, David, what's going on, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
You look so different.
Oh man, yeah, times have changed. You look different too. You've been changed. You look a little younger.
Hey, after having COVID, I take that as a compliment.
I know that's right.
So it's a blessing to be able to have you come on the show today. And, I just, because I deal with, trying to bring more young people into the fold.
Right.
That's why I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule coming in today. I don't know how long you can stay, but if you can stay the full, at the full of the show, but if not, if you have to bounce out, it'll be all right. Because whenever I plan something, I always try to plan for around the schedule of my guests. Right. So for the people that's listening and viewing, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, well, it ain't really much to it, man. My name is David. I'll be 21 in September. I've just started, and we've been rebranding my podcast. Right now, it's really Kickback Podcast.
Okay.
Kickback is a real perspective on just the younger generation, because you see a lot of podcasts, you see a lot of shows and things of that nature, and there are a lot of older gentlemen or the older ladies out there, and they're speaking from a past experience that was the things they've done 20, 30 years ago. That might not necessarily work today. So I have to, come in for the young people and tell them, like, hey, yo, be that young voice, be that almost like big brother figure, you know what I'm saying? Just because, it's hard to look up when someone, they're not near close to your age range, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's a disconnect when there's an age gap. So I'm the bridge in the middle.
Yeah, hey, That's what is needed. It's needed. I applaud you for doing that. And like I said, you always been a scholar and a gentleman ever since I met you. You know with your your ability, with your knowledge and wisdom at such an early age. That's why I always ask, simply see where you at, because I want people to see that. See, I could talk all day,
Right.
what you just focus on when you said, it might be male or men or women
Right.
talking about things that are early at their age. They 30 or 40 years old.
Right, 30, 40, 50, 60. And some of the times those same rules and the way they handled those methods, they
Right.
doesn't work today. So now you need to someone who's actually in the field experiencing those things. Because think about it, once you get to a certain age, certain things you're just not going to experience no more, because you're going to be like, I've been there and I've done that. So let me
Right.
tell you what's going on. Be like, wait, hold up. Things is different now because you ain't necessarily in that field. You after you leave a job for a certain time, the rules and the policies, things start changing now when you leave the field for a while. So you need someone who's still currently going through it, someone who's still going through it as we're talking about, as we're learning together, as we're making mistakes together, because that's how life is.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, because younger people such as yourself or younger don't want to, they don't talk to older people.
Oh no, they don't.
They keep everything locked up inside because you're telling them that, hey, I'm gonna protect you, or I ain't gonna say nothing. But they'll look and say, I done seen teachers in school yelling at kids or saying things to them or sending them to the office. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna tell nobody nothing.
Right.
Because you're gonna shout me out anyway. As soon as I do it.
Right. As soon as I do, I go get me in trouble.
Yeah, you're gonna get me in trouble with everybody. Because I study, because I study everything. I study people. When I used to have the teen club, back in there, I used to do a lot of teen dances, working in conjunction with Frankie Stewart, aka the Soul Ranger of WRAP. And he was like, yo, man, you got organization. Yeah, work with, yeah. Can you help me, facilitate some buildings so I can do some teen dances? Man, you Soul Ranger, you
do it yourself, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't. He would run and cut the conflict. Even when I went and worked with him, I was running a conflict. They ain't want to rent the buildings. They have teen dances.
Oh wow.
And that was in the 80s. And I'm like, okay. But Portsmouth, the city gave y'all $1 million. $1 million to build that recreation center up there in Mount Herman.
Right.
Then they said the teens couldn't go in there.
What was the point?
Thank you. This is the problem. When I talk to people, this is the part with all the cities. See, I don't give you nothing to do. See, the first problem is when you're in elementary. If you don't get up to a reading level in the third grade, you're designated for the pipeline to prison.
Oh yeah.
That's the way it works. Now, if you pass the pipeline to prison, you're still a problem. If I don't give you no place to exercise and have activities that are safe, so what happened? Pipeline to prison.
Right, because it's like if you don't give kids like after school activities, something to keep them busy, something to keep their mind from just going off. You need to give them something to do, because otherwise, what they're gonna do? They're gonna be in the streets. They're gonna play in the streets. Next thing you know, they're gonna turn from kickball on the curb to kicking something else on the curb. You know what I'm saying? You don't want and like it's gonna turn to a house when they have nothing to look forward to. There's no positivity. You have to give them something to just achieve. You have something to give them something to want.
Well, that's what I'm saying with me. Coming from your perspective, see, if I say it, people are like, yeah, you're always bad mouthing. That's why I have to bring young people on, because y'all are the ones have experienced it and still is experiencing it. My problem is when talking to, city council or government officials, that what are you doing for the future generation? You are the future. Why? Because, like you said, I'm older. You know, I'm 70. If I live to July, I'll be 71.
Mm.
I ain't got no problem telling people my age, you know, because
Right.
God allowed me to live to get 71.
Right.
That's why I do what I do, because I want you to live to get 80 to 91. Because God don't make mistakes. We live in a city, state in the United States that's brainwashing our young people, saying that we're gonna take back the community. Do you own the community?
No.
Do you own a house?
Nope.
Do you own an apartment?
Nah.
So how is you gonna go to young people saying I'm gonna take back the community when they already know I ain't got nothing? I don't own nothing.
I don't own nothing.
Right.
I can't take something I don't have. I can't take something I don't own.
Right. So my philosophy from then on my talk show, when I'm dealing with subjects that deal with young people, is I want to take back the lives of our future generation, our future leaders, because the simple reason I'm 70 years old.
Right.
In 2 months, I'll be 71. Now, why you say, I already know you said that once, you're saying it twice, you're repeating yourself. You must got old timers. No, the reason why I said the way I did is because you are younger than me. My job is to try to bring knowledge to you so you can gain the wisdom. See, I can't give you wisdom. I can't give you wisdom.
Right, wisdom comes with time. You can give me the knowledge, and I can take it and turn it into so much.
Say it again. I don't want to say it.
I said, see, look, wisdom comes with time. You can give me the knowledge. I have to take it, and within that time, turn it into wisdom.
Thank you. So while we take it back, while we got all the youth around here trying to take back something they don't own, when giving them knowledge, giving them a center, a recreation center, the ideals to be creative, to be inventive. Every time I turn on the news, and I watch the news religiously, because I look at the news for knowledge so I can gain wisdom. And looking at television, I gained that. Why are you taking back something that the city owns? You can't take back. You can't take back the community because it's owned by the city.
Right. The city ain't gonna let you do that.
Right. Thank you. That's the pipeline to prison. So, but if I give you knowledge in knowing more about how to stay away out of trouble, how to look at life and see yourself in that picture, then you'll be like, wait a minute, why am I out here and people shooting and fighting? I don't need to be around that kind of environment.
Right.
In the community. I'm gonna stay in my house because that's where my mom and dad and my family live, and pay rent. And that's a lock on the door.
Right.
I have control, or my family has control, who comes in and who goes out.
Right. And if you come in and you're supposed to be there, it's gonna be a hard time coming out. I'll let you know.
Hello. That's what I'm saying. So it's to get young people to focus on young people, so that they feel like that's someone I can trust.
Right.
Because kids are not taking guns to school to be in a shooting contest.
No.
They are taking guns to school because they are scared.
Right. That's the problem. A scared man is just as dangerous as an ignorant fool. Because when you're scared, there's no telling where your brain will go. When you're scared, it's like survival of the fittest. It's like you're throwing a man in the jungle with a knife and telling him, hey, you got to go for what you know. When you're scared, you're liable to do anything to anyone, no matter what it is, because you're scared. You're not rationalizing what you're thinking. And it's getting crazy with these schools and the teachers. And I don't really know. Surprisingly, I don't know how you fix it. I don't know how you fix it. I say you take the guns away. It's easier to get guns illegally. It's easier to get a gun illegally than it is to get it legally.
Hello. It's
So
always good.
so
It's
the
always
gun
good.
law so you changing the law ain't gonna do nothing if you can go get a gun illegally. That's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But then and what y'all gonna do? Walk around with the military and then tell everybody to get their guns up? You gonna have a problem with that one. So I don't see how you fix it besides just try to get people to calm down. You gotta try to. It's like you gotta get like a Big Brother sponsorship. You gotta get somebody to walk around. I don't know. It's like I don't know what you do to fix it, but every problem they came up with just sounds like a bad idea.
Right. Because you can't keep preaching the same thing. Let me see. After the pandemic, you forced the people in-house, really couldn't go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And for the person that's not used to that, that's a way of psychological warfare.
Oh yeah.
Because they are not accustomed to being locked up in a house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not accustomed to being in the hospital for 3.5 months.
Oh yeah.
You know, with COVID, can't see my family. I could talk to them on the phone, but I can't. They couldn't come to see me. My son came, I think once or twice. After that, the nurse called me after that on the phone saying, the doctor said, tell your son he can't come to the hospital anymore.
Oh man.
Because I was in intensive care. And he was standing in the hallway. You couldn't come in, you just stand in the hallway and look through. He can't come over here no more. So my wife came once, my daughter came once. And that was maybe the first week after being in there. Nobody can come anymore. So and we take freedom for granted. We take it for granted. See, it's really not about black and white.
It's about the shades of gray.
Right. Because there's no such thing as a black or white. A black man is melanated.
Right.
A Caucasian person, reason why that is, that's the white is what they call white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
We worship, we're going to destroy what we don't like, the imagery of a race. So when you look at, because I study art, I know there's a black and white is called hues. There are colors that you use to mix with the other 6 colors. Mm-hmm. Once you learn how to use the color wheel, you learn how to mix with those crayons, the 6 with the white and black, mixing 1 at a time and then 2 at a time, you can make over 1 million colors. With those 1 million colors.
I ain't know that.
That's what I'm saying. See, the Caucasian person only have 4 to 6 colors in their skin. The black man, has 12 to 16 colors. So when you look at us and you calling us black, we're not black. We got 16 colors in our skin.
Right.
And that's the problem. See, we are melanated. Our skin absorb
the sun.
The sun. We get stronger and our immune system gets stronger. It's so much that goes with the color of our skin that people don't realize the melanin in our skins is the same things that they use in the television, your flat screens. Right. Also in the electric cars, in your computer chips.
Oh yeah, I heard about the computer chip. They were using they was extracting melanin from people to put them in. I heard about that. I was like, what? I was like, you can just use color in computers. That was crazy. I did hear about the computer chip one, and it kind of goes back to, even when we're talking about melanated, it goes back to the scariness of why white supremacy is a thing. They're scared.
Right.
Scared people do idiotic things. They're scared of us. What happened is, for 400 years, they treated us like carpet rugs and they walked all over us. And now that we got a little freedom, they hold up. Now, what if they try to get some revenge? Hold up, what if they try to get some get back? And they're scared scared, and now we're the violent ones. Now we are the ones who shouldn't be trusted. But when if you want to look at our history, the history going back from Africa, we go from there to here, we're the ones who shouldn't be trusted. I just history, like I'm real big on history and what the reality of the fact is. Reality of the fact is we can go countless and counts of just random events in history, and I could just ask you, what color you think these people was?
Right.
And none of them looked like this. All of them look like this. You feel me?
Right.
So like we can go down to when there was some people with some axes and it was going to different villages and they was like just looting and killing and taking everybody. They was from Scandinavia. What color do you think those people was?
Right.
When if you want to go back even to Christianity, when they looked at you and they found that you was a pagan or that you wasn't Christian, and if you didn't convert right then and there, they burnt you alive. Those like popes and high church officials. How many of those high church officials you think was black? These are super violent and courageous acts that weren't done by black people. What about the Salem witch trials when they were just taking random women for no reason who ain't witches and were just like, hey, nah, burn you alive, I'll kill you and hang you? How many of those people was black?
Right. So when that's why they, so hard on history, the real history of America, because that's why they blocked it in school, Right. And like they say is they'll learn that when they get to college.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you really learn history at. That's where they learn it at. But we're not people that go around trying to say, hey, we're gonna get revenge on something that happened to years. If it was, then why haven't we? Why are we
like? And when you look at history, when it goes back to it, we've always asked for the bare minimum. Like, hey, look, just be civil. Look, just be civil with us. Give us some civil rights. Look, we don't want to be equal. We don't want to be, just be civil, right? Be civil. And then after that, we ask for equal rights, not better rights, not more rights. Look, just be equal. Just bare minimum stuff. And now we like, hey, look, Black Lives Matter. Not matters more than you, not matters, not the most important. We just matter. Right. And they like, and someone still is like, nah, I disagree.
Well,
so we've always just asked for bare minimum and still get that.
See, with me is I'm glad you brought it up, because when I bring it up, people will think like you're just talking racist. But since you said it, I have to comment on it. Black lives matter. But black lives don't matter to black people, because it ain't a bunch of white people running around shooting every day.
Right.
It's black people that are shooting black people every single day.
Every single day.
Who payroll are they on? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What is they gaining when you see a family lost a son or a daughter who, at this day and time? Who would think that people will be killing women and girls, and it's our people? That's
our people. And like, I think that's like the biggest debacle between the black and white community, because like, yeah, they paint us as the violent ones, but we always be violent to each other. We do it to each other. We kill each other. If you want to look at the history, they do it to everybody else. They don't kill each other. They kill and murder and slaughter and enslave everyone else except each other. We don't do that to nobody else. We keep it in the community.
Right.
You feel me? Yeah. We're not going around here and looking at and other appropriating. We do it to each other. We beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
We don't go around and appropriate. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there is a fine line in the terribleness of us.
Right. But that brings me back to
love.
Where's the love? Why is it that we are not loving each other? We own this planet, spins around, and what's holding us up? All these other planets, solar system, we're in the Milky Way. All the millions of other solar systems. And people think that God only created one planet with people on.
Okay, I don't go as far as saying I don't believe it, but it's just like when it comes to when you want to say, I get the concept of all these planets, all this space. We can't be the only ones out here, right? I understand that.
Right.
I understand that, but when you apply that logic, you can say anything about anything. You can say all these planets, all these space. It got to be a planet out there where it's talking pizza. And you can apply that and just throw anything behind it. So it's just like once you show me it's a planet with some little green dudes up there, I'm all for it. Until
Yeah,
then,
but who told you they were green?
whatever color they are, it doesn't
How
matter.
come they just can't be the color of you?
Whatever. If you go out there, you find other humans. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Whatever.
But the thing is, why would you even think there's no other people out there?
It's not that I don't think it is that it's the logic behind it. Since it has to be something out there because of all the space. It
Right.
could just be anything. I can literally like the logic. I can say it has to be a planet where there's talking microphones because there's all that space, all these planets. It got to be a planet where there's talking shoes.
Yeah.
Since the fact that it's so basically loose, I just can't buy behind it completely. Once you prove it to me, once you show me that you know what I mean, that planet with them people or whatever you want to find, hey, I'm all for it. But until then, it's just.
But to then, let's look at it this way. They see how we are treating each other. Why would you think they want to reveal themselves to us?
Hey, it probably won't. And on top of that, hey, it is maybe they just can't get out here the same as we can't get out there. We don't have the energy source to barely make it to the other planets in our universe, let alone another whole other galaxy or
Well, but then last year before last, just say 2021 or early 2022, off the coast of North Carolina, the guy in his tugboat or fishing boat took out his video camera between North Carolina and Virginia and filmed 8 white lights in the daytime, like flying saucers. He filmed them, and then they disappeared shot up in the air on his cell phone. See, there's no such thing as there's no one there. That is totally ridiculous. Even during World War II with Hitler, they said they got plans for the nuclear weapons from aliens. They gave them a lot of stuff. All the stuff you see, you just say it just made itself. The things that you're doing today and talking with, the technology. When I was in elementary school at 6 and 7 years old, we had a school magazine for the schools that was talking about flying cars, telephones, a whole bunch of stuff that we do today.
Right.
Even back there when I was in middle school, they said the price of a hamburger, which back then was only about 12 cents.
Right. The value of money has went down or went up.
Yeah. But they predicted almost 20 some years later that a hamburger is going to cost you $5. So technology is something that is there because if it's within us, if it's within our DNA, because if you go on the internet and study UFOs or the pyramids, the tallest pyramid in Africa, when they call it on the dollar bill, the all-seeing eye, because that's supposed to be Masonic symbol. Right. It used to be a metallic ball that sit in the center of that pyramid.
Right.
If you go on to YouTube and look at the top of the pyramid is not square. I mean, it's not a triangle. The you only see two sides, because I made one in school.
Right.
With 4 sides out of wood, because our sculpture teacher said, just get some wood and everybody just get some wood and make something. I don't care what you make, but make something. Use no pictures, no nothing. Use your own imagination. So my imagination said, take these blocks, cut them down to different sizes to the smallest one. Drill holes on each side of it. Take some plastic tubing, small pieces of tubing, and run wire all the way up to the top. So when I took it and I put green cloth beneath each one, stacked up, and I had one piece, I said, darn, there's only a good piece left, but it's got a piece of black on it. Okay, I'll put that on the back side of the, of my thing. So when I put it all together, twisted it, and hung it, it was a pyramid. So when it was time for the critique, gave us a week, teacher said, he's talking to everybody, blah, blah. You got to mine. I was so embarrassed. I mean, I'm like, oh my God. He just went on and on and on. He went on for like 45 minutes. The class ain't but an hour 20 or hour 30 minutes. He spent 45 minutes talking about my pyramid. He said, you ever seen a pyramid? In a picture. You ever been to Africa to see one? I mean, in real life? No, sir. Well, how would you know to build that one like that? Spirit, imagination, whatever. I mean,
right.
He said, but you build it exactly the way a pyramid is. And you never seen one. Not even a picture of it. Because we had to build it with no pictures.
Right.
So then he said, I've been to one. And everything that you've done is accurate to the point where I just want to know how you did it. We don't get into that. Can we move on to some more students?
Right.
Because I don't like, be put on the spot because I'm doing something that might look good or it might fascinate people. Let the other people get let some other people get some glory.
Oh yeah,
that's recognition. But what I'm saying is this: when I study and research after that, the top of the pyramid is shaped like that because it used to be a metallic ball that was placed in the center that could be seen on the outer edge of space.
Right.
Like a guiding system for intertrans travel, for spaceships to come. Because you cannot see the Earth. You cannot see the Earth because the Earth, like all other planets, they're not planets, they're stars. Then, because we sit in the Milky Way galaxy, we're in a galaxy with millions of other galaxies around us. So when they take the hover satellite or satellites, they go farther out, you cannot see the planet. It's a light. It's a star. So every time you look at a star at night, it's not a star, it's a planet. It's the gases around it that gives it the atmosphere. That's why when they say they go to Mars, and all this. But even in the pyramids, if you go on the internet, you'll see the guy giving people tours inside the pyramid where you got a flying saucer inside the pyramid. Up there. Then, back in those days, they had electricity.
Right. They had electricity. So what happened to it?
Huh?
Why they ain't share it?
They did, but most people don't know. A lot of stuff has been, that is not our ancestry. That's other people. They in another pyramid now. They still got 30 more years of escalation. 30 more years of escalation in that pyramid. And when they showed the picture on the news, the inside of the tunnels of the pyramid looked like the tunnel when they build the one when you go through they go through north of Portsmouth. When they first build it,
right.
You see how it's smooth like a tube.
Like a tube, right.
The pyramid is just like that.
Mm-hmm.
As they escalate, it's just like that. When they go through, get to that level, it's no such thing as we are not the God made. That means God was selfish.
I don't believe that there's nothing out there until someone's proven. I don't believe in the metallic ball theory. It was no ball inside the pyramids. So they took the ball out and the pyramid's still there. But then they built the pyramid back. So they took the ball out and then built.
No, they never built. They never built. The pyramids are there for thousands of years.
Right. So
nobody built. Our ancestors built the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
So what happened to the ball though?
The metallic ball?
Yeah, what happened to it?
I don't. That's a good question.
It's like, so
but let me show you this.
Here's the part I'm having a hard time.
Okay, you heard of the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
All you gotta do is go and look at the YouTube. Mm-hmm. Bermuda Triangle. Back in the 40s or 50s,
mm-hmm.
I think, when planes were disappearing,
mm-hmm.
they said there's pyramids underneath the earth. I mean, in the ocean.
Right.
Because see, the earth, when you study oceanography, the earth used to be joined together.
Right.
Okay. It broke away, like Hawaii broke away.
Mm-hmm.
They already said California, where part of it is Mexico, mm-hmm. at some point is going to break away from California and it drifts out. Right. That's why Korea and North and South Korea, that's why it was North Korea wants to take back South Korea, whichever one it is, because that is a part of their land.
Right.
When it was joined together. But since it broke apart, it sits out there, and that's how all the fighting is about. Because it broke away. So
it broke away originally. The fight on is because originally it was all one country, and then eventually once it split up and they chose between two different leaders.
No. This is what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing, but you're missing the point. Mm-hmm. You just said it. You said it was together at one time.
Right.
It's called you study oceanography.
Right.
It's the earth beneath the ocean. When it breaks away underneath the ocean, it drifts apart.
Right.
But it was still one country.
Mm-hmm.
They want it back.
Right.
These are what the wars are about. China, same thing. Russia, same thing. This is a part of Russia. We wanted that.
Right. Because the man with Ukraine and Russia, that's a little something different, man. Look, a president, somebody who don't run Russia, one of our crazy presidents, gonna try to tell them that they got their own country now. You know, that's still Russia, that's still the USSR. They want their property back, and Putin said, "You gonna give me mine."
That's what I'm saying.
Give me my shit back.
I haven't looked at the map on Ukraine, but because when countries are broken apart, it used to be just right. Like the United States used to be part of Africa. So you have to really know your history. It's in the books, but ain't nobody going to point it out to you.
Yeah, all the continents was connected at one point, but that was so long ago. Humans wouldn't even hear it.
That's the point. That's what I'm trying to show you. It was so long ago. So why are we fighting over something that we have no control over? We have no control over the land underneath the sea breaking apart.
Right.
If we break apart now and float out into the middle of the ocean, the United States going to say, I want that back.
Right, they do. They
okay. Why ain't Africa saying we want America back?
Because we weren't there yet. We weren't there at that time. Humans weren't invented. I mean, we weren't not invented, but we weren't there yet. When all the continents were connected into one, there were no humans. Humans weren't on Earth yet. We weren't here. So we weren't even here to even want some land back that wasn't even, we don't care. That's why they don't care about us now. Look, Africans knew we was over here. Think about it. contrary to popular belief, white people just come to Africa and ransack villages and just take a whole bunch of niggas. That ain't necessarily how that went down. The Africans knew we were here and no one came to come get us. They don't care. They knew they sold us to some slaves. They knew they sold us to some white folks, and they didn't care. They ain't want to come get us. Ain't nobody come on no spears. Ain't nobody come on no boat with their little spears and their little dart arrows trying to come get us and try to rescue us.
What country in Africa have a navy?
Think about it like this. It was 200 slaves on the ship with 2 white people. Man, 2 white people ain't take 200 people. No, you had to buy. So you ain't. So it gets to a point like, nah, Africa don't really care about us. Africa don't like America like that.
Well, I can't say that because we are Africans. We're that's why when you listen to Malcolm X, and he said very clearly, but in translation, that's why you have to read for knowledge and pray for wisdom. He said Plymouth Rock didn't land on us. I mean, Plymouth Rock, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Go in there for him real quick so they can know what it mean.
What that mean?
Yeah.
It means that we was already here when Plymouth Rock got here.
Right.
Ship. Africans were already here.
The Native Americans, yeah.
That's why he said it the way he did. He said we didn't land. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock, meaning that we didn't come on Plymouth Rock.
Right.
But we didn't land on Plymouth Rock, but Plymouth Rock landed on us, landed in the country. They say Plymouth Rock, landed in America.
Right.
But because we was already here. By being here. Columbus
didn't do shit. My bad. Excuse my language.
No.
He nothing.
It was the Moor that brought Columbus here. That's why they don't want to teach history. We're not talking racism. We're talking facts.
Columbus ain't do nothing. It was people already here from the great. If you study how humans when we first started leaving Africa and we started branching off into the different places of the world, you would see how people came over here and they were already here thousands and thousands of years before Columbus even thought about it. And on top of that, the Vikings, he wasn't even the first person to come over here after the Great Split. After the Great Split, the Vikings were the first person that came over here. They reached to another part in Canada. They call it Finland. They call it Finland because when they went there, it was a bunch of grapes. There was a bunch of grapes, and they was getting drunk off the grapevine and things of that nature. And they actually got to fighting with some Native Americans actually. And the Native Americans actually drove them off, and that's why they weren't able to colonize America because they were trying to. The second reason they didn't colonize America is because it was too far from Greenland. They had to keep traveling back super far from Greenland, and they didn't feel like keep traveling that humongous distance from how much it was to compare it to their ships back then. Yeah. So Columbus came over here about 300, 400, 500 years after that. So he was already late.
But with all the, this is what I'm saying is, to bring a debate, to do the studies. So while we as Black people killing each other,
because we don't like each other. I'm convinced. I'm convinced Black people don't like Black people. I'm convinced. I'm highly convinced. Look, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, to go back to being scared. I get why white people are scared of us. I'm scared of niggas too. It's scary. It is. Look. It is scary. Look, I get why they be scared. I be scared too. Look, that's why I stay in the house. Look, everybody's scared. So when you scared of somebody, you're automatic. It's like when you're scared, you automatically think the worst is going to happen to you. Like, oh my God, there's a Black person. He got the tattoos. Now, so you may think, oh my God, now he's going to try to do the worst thing. When you're scared, the worst thing imaginable pops into your head. So when you do that, when you're scared, you act irrational. And I think that's the catch-21. We gotta stop being so fearful towards each other. And
but then
how do you break that?
How? Again, what about faith? What about love? What about giving time to, like you here today talking, and you're starting your podcast? what are you going to talk about on your podcast that's going to encourage young people? What are the topics that you're going to use to try to reach people of your generation? Because if it keeps going on, it ain't gonna be too much of your generation left.
Oh, facts. I don't know. I think I'm just trying to mainly just talk. A lot of black people, a lot of young black people, they don't talk to each other. So a lot of times, like you said, the knowledge doesn't get spread around. So the experiences I'm going to go through and the things that I'm going to go on and to continue to experience in life, I'm going to share them and share my perspective on different things. Like no matter what the situation is, certain political things or whatever situation, I'm just going to give a young man's perspective, because even though your perspective might not be the right, it's how you feel about the situation. Like, okay, someone can relate to, okay, this is the mindset a person needs to have, and this like it's just no one's really talking. I just want to at least start the conversation. Why?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have to do more than just not be able to give our youth a purpose in life without getting them engaged, to vent, to be able to say, like you say, I didn't interrupt you, let them talk so they can hear themselves.
Right.
Because sometimes hearing things in your mind becomes, I'm
you
going
want
crazy.
money? You want money, Mr. Vaughn? You want some money right now?
But if I'm talking, you're giving me the ability to express what I'm feeling, and I don't have to keep it on the inside, but I can let it out. And maybe by people listening to me and me not just listening to myself, because I'm pretty sure every person that killed somebody or shot somebody is talking to themselves.
Right.
I'm going to get that man. I'm going to get him. He dissed me. Ooh, he talking to my girl. I'm going to get him, man. He looking in the mirror. I'm going to get him, man. Look, I'm getting him. Who you talking to? I'm talking to you, man. But I am you. I know, man. You need help. Now, I don't need help, man. I don't need no help. I got my ride. I got my AK-47. I got my Uzi, man. That's my help.
Right.
I'm going to light it up, baby.
A lot of times, I'm gonna blow up. A lot of times you say something in your head, right? And you're going through a plan in your head. You ever go through something where you're saying something in your head and you're going through it, and then you say it out loud, and the second you say it out loud, you realize how stupid you sound. You be like, "Wait, what did I just say? That's what I was just thinking about." And right. A lot of times you don't really. A lot of young folks, they don't really get that epiphany moment until it's too little, too late.
Right. When they got the handcuffs on, that bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
The bracelet is, what are you going? What are you doing? I'm going home. Partner, you ain't going home.
No, you're not.
The home you going to. Welcome to the real world, baby.
Welcome to the real world.
The real world is going to take you out. What you see in the video games, because it's programming.
Mm-hmm.
Most of this killing didn't start until the video games.
I'm not going to blame video games for the lack of. Look, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I see a lot of older people blaming video games and blaming rappers and blaming social media for the reason why their kids are acting up. You're not raising your kids. You're not teaching them right from wrong. You're not teaching them the fundamentals of life. Is the reason why your kids are acting like. Look, you are supposed to be your kid's role model, not some person online. Stop blaming other people with the reason why you didn't raise your kids. You're not raising your kids. Look, I grew up with game. I played GTA and Call of Duty. I played all the shooting and AK games. I did all that. I listened to all the rap music with all the gangbanging drug lyrics, and I don't act like that. It's because I was raised right. It's about whom raised you. I don't like when people blame like, oh, video games are acting violent. Yeah, that's a small influence, but where were your parents at? Who let people play these video games? Who bought the video game? I'm pretty sure these kids don't got no job. Who's buying the video games? Who's buying the smartphone? Who's letting them listen to the music? It's all sounds like one common denominator. Ooh, I just said that.
I'm glad you say it, because if I say it, like, again, people are like, you don't know what you're talking about. I tell people, I listen to the young people
Mm-hmm.
because I raised 7 of them. I helped raise my nieces and nephews.
Mm-hmm.
I had my niece and a nephew, 2 nephews, died by drive-by shootings.
Mm.
My niece, who just turned 20, her boyfriend shot her 7 times.
Mm.
And my sister, she hid in the closet, and what woke her up is when her daughter started screaming, saying, "Mommy, mommy, help me!" And he kept shooting her.
Mm.
So she didn't know who it was, so she hid in the closet.
Sheesh.
And she said, I don't know how long she stayed in there, 2-3 hours before she ever came out. Then she ran downstairs to tell people. But her boyfriend committed suicide. Well, that's the story. But
That's the.
my sister said another door closed after the shooting. You can't commit suicide and then.
So it was more. So it was at least 2 people.
Yeah, they said somebody else was in there. She said somebody else came in or killed both of them.
Well, if they can tell he committed suicide, it means someone was in there from the beginning. Like okay. Let's say even if you shot yourself, the gunpowder residue is going to be on your hand, on your head,
Right?
Unless he was shot from a distance by another gun. That's, you know what I'm saying. That's a.
But a door don't close itself.
A door don't close itself unless it's unless the doors had a wild draft.
Yeah.
A draft.
No, not in New York.
Oh,
not on the 8th.
I don't know.
Yeah, not on the 8th floor in a 32 or 38 apartment complex.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, so
yeah, so these are the things that happens. My cousin, my nephew, and they was over, and people were shooting, and he got shot and killed in New York. My another cousin, he was in Georgia, standing outside. Somebody came by, shot him. He was a security guard, and he was sitting on his apartment, and whatever, somebody came by and shot him. So it's not an easy thing to know that people die at such an early age, 20 years old or 20 or just turning 20 or 21.
Right.
In different families. But they are still in my family, but they were people that went to school. They weren't out fighting or bullying, and my niece, she just graduated a year before that happened. But like I said, that's why I bring you on for your perspective. Correct. And not just me. I just got tired of putting this symbol up that I had, help wanted. Let me see where it is, because I felt that we have to talk about life instead than always subliminatory talking about death, because what the video games do. I play video games. Right. I used that because I drew it in print in my print class. Those are print. That's a print. So, and that was back in 2016 or 15, and I started using it because this is what's going on today. Right. At the time I did it, it wasn't that much violence in our community, But today it escalates every day. Every time you turn on the news, somebody in the 757 is dying.
And it's crazy. It's because it seems like it's not even just I think at one point we was looking up and it was like one person is dead, one person is dead, one person is dead. Now it's like a group of people are dead, another group of people are dead, another mass shooting, another mass shooting. Jesus flipping Christ!
Yeah,
what are we doing? It's like everyone wants to become serial killers. Like everybody just committing mass murder. Everyone. It's just one body's not enough. You got to go out guns blazing.
Yeah. You got to take out 15. I don't want to go by myself. That's
Right.
the thing. See, the thing is, this is what the video games do. It tells you not to go out by yourself.
But the video games,
Take a few people.
letting them play video games. Who's
Huh?
bought video games? Who's raising them? Who didn't teach them right from wrong?
I
Who didn't teach
understand
them what's on the video game is not real life?
Yeah.
That's because that comes back to someone's teaching them. Who's bought that video game for them?
Yeah, I bought my kids whatever box they want. I had all 3 boxes because I had 4 sons and everybody wanted a different video game, console. And I tell them like this is how this is going to work. As long as you get your work done in school, this is your console. I'm buying the video games $50 and $70 a piece. 3 different consoles. But the first time I get a call, if I get a call from your teacher, you're acting up in school, you ain't getting your homework, because I go to the PTA meetings. See, another thing, parents got to go to PTA meetings to find out what their kids are doing, not wait until you get a note at home or you get a call. I'm at the PTA meetings, me and my wife. So anything that ain't going right is going to be straightened out. Because I keep telling people, before the police beat you, I'm going to beat you. I don't have no problem with them put me in jail for doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Take care of you. Be responsible.
Right. And I think responsibility is where I think a lot of parents are lacking at. They see the gangbanger online and they see this right here and they see that right there. And those things shouldn't influence your kids. You shouldn't let those things. You should be the biggest influence in your kids' lives.
Right.
You should be the biggest role model. You shouldn't. When the person decides to write music, the first thing they're not thinking about is, oh my God, I want to make sure that these little kids, I becoming a role model. They're like, no, I just want to make music because this is what I love to do. I'm not trying to be your role model. I'm not trying to influence your kids to do anything. You're letting your kids be influenced by things just because you're not influencing them. You're not influencing them. You're not being responsible for your responsibilities. Don't blame everybody else. Now, it's one thing if after they get grown and they just doing whatever. Look, you did your best, but when they're kids, you have to start that early. You can't wait until they're 16 and then you're trying to tell them, hey, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to skip school. You wait until you're 16 to start parenting. You parent immediately.
Right. It's not overnight.
It's not overnight.
It's not overnight. Because I got 7 kids. And I was blessed to have 5 boys and 2 girls. But the principle of this is, the moral of the story is, when my first wife and I separated, I went to broadcasting school in New York. I was offered a job out of broadcasting school a month later. And I didn't have to come back. I came back because in my mind, like all my kids, I don't want nobody raising my kids but me.
Right.
I'm responsible for them being here. I'm going to be responsible for them to grow up to have a good life. Now, I'm not saying I'm the greatest parent in the world, but I know what my responsibility. It ain't the city. It ain't the state. It's me.
It's me.
And I work 3 jobs. I work for pennies on a dollar.
Right. It's crazy. The government still don't care. Believe it or not, that's still not enough to convince the government that you don't need to be on child support.
Well, that's why it's on child support, is to keep the father out of the house. That's the system.
That's the system. Now, that is 100% what I agree in. The system is literally designed. I've seen men get so screwed by the system, and it's not even the women's fault. Like, a lot of times they get the blame in the females, like, oh man, she put me on child support. I've seen it with my own dad and my own mother.
Right.
For my entire life, my dad took care of me. My mom didn't have to act. My dad stepped up to the plate and took care of his responsibility and helped raise me. Right. If I needed something, my dad did his very best to try to help. Whatever he needed, whatever I needed, he did it. He tried.
Right.
But at times, he didn't have it, and my mom didn't have it. We were all screwed, and it was just like,
Right.
okay, let's try to get the food stamps and things of that nature to try to ease it up, get some of that government assistance. The
Right.
government was like, well, where's your dad at? But she was like, well, he take care of him, but he ain't got it either.
Right.
We just need the extra help, and the government would not let us get food stamps until my mom put him on child support.
Thank you.
Even though he took me to school, picked me up from school, helped me with a tutor,
Right.
like he was never not there. They do not care.
Right. See,
It's blatantly simple.
right. Because see, once they put him on child support, you know what it is?
What?
He got to miss 1 or 2 payments.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pipeline, the prison.
Mm-hmm.
See, the game is, I'm gonna make you think your dad didn't care about you. I'm gonna make the lady go down and get support.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're gonna bring him in. This is what you got to pay.
Right.
You ain't got it.
Right.
You
So
in trouble. They gonna pick you up. That's why you think the men's were running when the police stopped them.
right.
Because they already on child support and they ain't made the payments. When they
Right.
turn themselves in, they go into prison.
Mm-hmm.
They go to prison just as long as a person sell drugs.
Right.
In there. 5,
Uh-huh.
10, 15 years. Because they don't want you as a man
Right.
to have to be learning what men are supposed to do. If I take your dad out the picture,
You ain't gonna
you
know.
listen to the people in the street.
Right. Or
And go ahead.
opposite, or what is funnily turning to be, a lot of men are being raised by their mothers and by women in their lives, and they're not knowing how to be men.
Right. That's what. There you go. You're hitting it on the nail. Now we're seeing eye to eye. The other part is, as he's being raised as a man by the woman,
Mm-hmm.
he now has the same feelings about his mother when she needs something. I want to make sure my mother get what she wants. I'm gonna have to do what I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get the son to do illegal things.
Right, because
He don't want to see his mother unhappy.
Right, his mama's struggling. His mama's stressed about the bills. He probably ain't even old enough to really work yet. He probably like 14, 13. He know 1 or 2 guys in the neighborhood who got that stuff on him. He like, well, all I gotta do is do this right here. I can feed my mom. I can help out around the house, and doing this don't sound like a bad idea. So now it's just like pipeline to jail.
Hello. Now you know why the incarceration
rate is so high.
70 to 80% Black and brown men in prison. And if you look at their record, there's drugs and child support. See, it ain't where the men's that's shooting. You can hardly find them. And it ain't that many. But you got a whole pipeline. You got millions of Black and brown people in prison. Just in this state. Just in this state. You got the father, you got the granddad,
and now you got the son.
3 generations of Black and brown men in jail because of a little marijuana, other illegal drugs, but most of all, because of child support.
Right.
And I keep telling people,
that system is not built around for us to win. It is literally 100% against us, right? Like,
we can win.
Look, think about it like this: the mothers are literally incentivized, are literally paid for us not to be there. They get rewarded. They get rewarded for us not being there.
Right.
Look, think about it. They get first dibs on all Section 8 housing. As you see, if you notice, the homeless rate, more men are at a significantly homeless rate than there are females, because they get first up on the Section 8 housing. They get the government assistance. They get first up on government assistance. They're least likely to go to jail for their violent crimes because they have children and things of that nature. If you got a child, they don't really give a damn if you do a crime or not. So it's like you get pluses for being a single mother, but if you're a father, you just give it the times, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is. But like I keep telling people, I took care of my kids. The government ain't giving me nothing. At one time when I got sick, I had to get help assistance when I was sick, when I got diabetes. I had to stop work because my doctor said if you don't stop, you're going to be dead. That was about 59 or 60. And my glucose was 768. And glucose I'm supposed to get but 3 something. I wasn't on the chart. He said she wouldn't even let me go home. She said, I can't even let you leave my office until I get that down. If it don't come down, you're not leaving my office. I'm gonna have to have them ambulance come take you to the hospital. You're not leaving my office. And then after they did, and seeing her, she said, I can't, you have to stop work. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you this and guarantee it. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to be dead. Less than 30 or 60 days.
Sheesh.
So at 768 glucose, that's double the numbers on the national chart. The national chart is only 3 something. I was walking around 7 something. So like I keep telling people, God don't make no mistakes. I do what I do because I done been in all kinds of situations from the beginning of time. Since I was a child at 3 or 4 years old. I heard cast man iron fall in my chest, busted my gums are loose. That's how my gums sit there. My gums are supposed to be up there, but it busted it loose and I had to get stitches. The doctor told my mother after he did the surgery, he said, he's lucky to be alive because the cast man iron is iron with over the fireplace, over in the bricks and everything. It fell into my chest because I was reaching for my brother's flashlight because he was in the military. Those like when you go to the base, they had this light that do like this when you see them on the airplanes or when the jets take off on the aircraft carrier. You see that light. And I was reaching for it. I'm about 3 or 4 years old. I ain't know no better. My sister took it from me. My mind said, stay on at the side of the bed and look up there and see where it is. So when she went in the other room, I looked up there and I saw it was up there on the fireplace, but I'm short. So I had to pull up on it. And my mama had this Jesus thing where you had Jesus knocking at the door or Mary standing at the door with a light in it. And I remember that. And like I said, is when it came down, it was so loud. My dad was next door at the apartment sitting on the porch, and they heard it and they ran in. And it took my dad and my cousin or the next door neighbor to pick it up because my dad couldn't pick it up by himself. To take it off me to get me from under it. And they rushed me to the emergency room. So like I keep telling people, I done been in a lot of incidents. I can go on and on and on and on and on, but God don't make mistakes. That's why I'm here at 70, because the last thing I went through was COVID and was in the hospital, hooked up to 4 or 5 machines, had nurses 24 hours a day around the clock. 3 nurses would come in my room every 3 to 4 hours. Then I went to rehab, was in there for a couple of weeks. They talking about stay about a month or 2 months. I'm out of here. Came home, and then 2 weeks later, I had to tell my wife, take me to the. I said, no, just call the ambulance. I can't get up, to walk. So she called the ambulance. They came and, took me over there. That was heart failure. Then I stayed in there. Again, I'm getting frustrated. I don't want to stay. So, it's just, I don't like hospital. I don't like a lot of medicine because we spiritual people, we're able to heal ourselves. The medications that we do take can alter the way our DNA is. So we have to depend on it. Every commercial that come on TV. You got more commercials on TV about medicine than anything else.
Right.
All you gotta do is count them. You see in a minute or in 2 minute break, you usually see 4 or 5 about different medicines to take.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are experiencing is that we're living just to make so people can have money.
Yeah, people. That's how world go around. People profit off of people problems. Like your mechanic makes money because your car breaks down. The doctor makes money because you get sick. The gym makes money because you got fat. It's how things.
Yeah, that's the way the system is set up. But that's why I wanted to bring you on. I love engaging with young people because I don't know everything.
Right.
I don't try to know everything. I don't want to even come up there and say, because like I tell people, when I was in elementary school, I was in a special education class.
Mm-hmm.
They took me out the first grade. After I passed the second grade, passed to the third grade. I was in the third grade for maybe 3 weeks. The teacher said, Henderson, get your books and go with this teacher.
Mm.
And I went to special education class. Well, it was ungraded back then. And later on in the 60s, it changed to special ed.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I got there, when you're in a special education class, you only can stay in school till you get 18.
Mm.
You stay in one room. You might have gym, but you come back to that room.
Right.
But because I had 2 teachers that saw the work I could do, I did some work on the board, some math. And when I was in the class, and the teacher said, you had to go to the board and work it out. No paper, nothing. You just got to work it, the problems that she gave. So I did the problems. Then later on, she came back, called me to the desk, say, Henderson, how did you how you learn how to do the math like that? I just do. She said, by what you did, I don't know why you in my class. You're not supposed to be in my class.
Right.
But I tell you this, if you promise me, you give me your word that you will do the work I give you, I promised I'll try my best to get you out of that class. And I said, yes, ma'am. And when I was in her class, till I got 12. I think I was in her class until I was 9 or 10. Then I had to transfer, but my mom moved. We moved out of the district from Brightening on Airline Boulevard, or Portsmouth Boulevard now. And we moved from there and moved to Effingham Street and then I had to go to Wooded Weaver. But when I was in her class, before I moved, I was already doing 9th grade work.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting A's and B's in her class, but I also got my hands beat a lot for not doing what she told me not to do. Because I don't like to see people fail.
So she was helping them on their tests and stuff.
Yeah. And I tell them not to tell them, you gonna get them all. I'm gonna get them all right. I said, no, I'm not gonna do them all right. And every class I go, I'm not gonna. People ask me, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do them all right because they know you ain't do it.
Right.
If you've been getting an F or a D, and all of a sudden you got an A,
right?
They already know you didn't do it.
Right. Who you cheated off of?
Yeah. And they're gonna ask you, oh, you going to the office or you gonna get suspended? Who you think they're gonna tell them? You. And the teacher said, didn't I tell you not to help them or help them with their work? Come up here, stand in front of the class. Hold your hand out. Back then, she used a wooden paddle. Those paddles, like, with the ball on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that pat 10 or 15 licks in the hand, buddy. And you better not move it back. You draw it back, you get double. Then she said, go sit down. She did it in front of the class to say, if anybody else do that, this is what you're going to get. Then when I went to the other school, the teacher, it was Riddick Weaver and George Peabody on South Street in Portsmouth, the block from Effingham. And I did work, and the same thing, the lady said, you do, Henderson, you do good work. Saying, everybody always asks me, Coach, what grade level were you doing? I was in a special education class then. But my teacher let me do other work.
Right.
She said, what do you mean other work? She gave me books of 6th and 7th grade. She did what? I said, she gave me books, not no, like, see Dick run, run Dick, here come Tom. Tom, where is Sally? Run, Sally, run. Here comes Spot. Here comes Jane, Sally. Do you see Sally, Jane?
Right.
Run, Dick, run. I memorized. I can look at that. I still can do it now. I do it with music. That's why I keep telling DJs, you can't beat me. You cannot beat me DJing. You're going to make a mix.
Right.
Most of the DJs that go in the club now, they record their mixes. So you thinking they're dancing. That's why the clubs are the way they are. They're not entertained. I know music from the 50s all the way up to now.
Right.
In my head. I can sing the songs. I know I can remember most of the lyrics to mostly every song I ever played, ever listened to. As the bitter tears fall from your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't nothing but a hound dog quacking all the town. Elvis Presley. Riding around in my automobile. My baby beside me at the wheel. Chuck Berry.
Oh, yeah.
Any song, if you name it, I can know majority of them. Rap, hip, hop, did the hip, hop, the bopper, you don't stop the rockin' to the boogie, the bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie beat. Now, what you get is not a chant. I'm rocking to a beat. You see, I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello. The word of God will guide me every moment. It's just we have to learn. We don't learn. We take the easy way out. I can teach you how to do math, and you'll know it just by looking at it.
Right.
I do math in my head. Everything I do, I write it down to practice, but I memorize it. I do the work. And this is, I'll tell you the scenario. If you want to learn something, take 10 words every day and look them up in the dictionary. 10 words, look them up in the dictionary and learn the meaning of those words. Then close the dictionary because you write down the meaning. Now memorize what you've written down. If you want to do a spelling bee, same thing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Write down the words.
Oh, you write them down. You're committed to memory. Oh, yeah. It's easy to do that.
Right. Yeah.
I remember that from school.
Yeah. You practice it. You say it 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Say it 10 times. Spell it 10 times. Spell it the regular way. Spell it 10 times backwards. See, when you spell it backwards, you're memorizing what it looks like.
Right, because the whole time the whole time in your brain you're pitching the word forward, but then you're saying all the letters back because you like you gotta reach for the A, you gotta reach for all the letters in the A. You be like this one, you gotta pull that letter down and stuff.
Yeah, same thing with math.
Oh yeah.
If you want to learn your math,
I can just remember the equations.
Yeah,
I just remember the formula. You remember the formula? All you doing is just plugging numbers in.
Right, that's all. One plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. All the way to 12.
Right.
Then, same thing with all the other 12 numbers. All you're doing is just adding the number, the bottom number, to the answer. So you'll remember it in your head. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is what?
4.
2 times 4 is
6. No, 8. I'm tweaking. 8.
Right. All you did is take the top number and add it to the answer. And you remember that in your head. That's all you got to do. Same thing with dividing. I just remember all that. I remember.
Yeah, I done subtracting.
Right. So when you learn to do math and you study the formula, it's easy. But then when you get to college, they go with the circle here, another circle inside, not all the way, but inside circle. Another circle over here, same thing. You might have 3 circles, but it's actually 4 circles, but they're divided by the circle, and the equation might. There was a ball game at Tidewater Park. Okay, say 600 people came. How many people sit on Tidewater, the local park, and how many sit on the side of the visitors? How many hits did the first batter make in the second inning? So you got to put that formula together to get the answer. Okay, it was 300 over here. It was 150 in this circle, but then you got to add it out. But then you got this circle on the outside of the circle that you got to calculate. I forgot what that math was, but I'm like, I'm not. Wait a minute, hold up. I'm too old for this foolishness. Let me just do what I can do. And I passed some and some I didn't. You need a tutor. I really didn't come here for all this. I came here to study art.
Exactly. I think that's why I had the biggest problem. And with college, it was just I came to do a task. I came to learn something, and you're forcing me to learn everything else. I don't care about these things. Why?
Right.
It has nothing to do with career path I'm choosing to follow.
Right.
I thought that was why I was coming here.
Right. And they said, well, no, college is not like that. You have to declare a degree. Well, in other words, you're telling me college is not like that. And this college is good for whoever wants to do it. Right. I love the challenge. So I go do things for the challenge to figure out how to get it accomplished. But how to get it accomplished if I don't get a degree, but I got the information. See, I didn't go to college to get a degree. First of all, I went to college to get the knowledge.
All right.
So I have the wisdom when I pray. To use it. When I have to use it. Right. I have the information. Now I'm gonna show you what I did with it, because the piece of paper ain't asking anything.
Right.
I done had jobs that make more than the person that's running the campus. My salary bigger than his. So why are you running the college if I'm making more money than you are?
Right.
But that's basically what the drug dealers are telling people. I'm making more money than you, and you got 4 or 5 different degrees.
Right. And
so what's
right? I ain't trying to go to college. It's just
right.
There's different things out here.
Yeah, we have to break the cycle of letting people understand is like now they're deciding after I done said this years before, 10 to 15 years. I think most of the time people are slow. These are the people that got the knowledge and to get the paychecks. They slow because if I figured it out, and I was in a special education class.
I know you can figure it out.
Yeah. Why is it that you ain't figured it out? Everything that they see that's going on today, I already figured all that out in the 80s. I already figured it out. I opened up a convenience store down in Gates, Franklin, just to study it. And when I had that store, I made X number of dollars. But I didn't spend that much money doing it.
Mm.
And everything was legal. It's just, I used to work in the warehouse. And people don't understand is the people that control the prices of food is the people that owns, it's the sale people that sell it.
Mm-hmm.
The farmer sells it to the farmer take it to the place that packages it.
Right.
They get pennies on a dollar. Once they stack it, you got all these middlemen. You got about 5 middlemen before it's your shelf store. When you go into any grocery store, any store, you got a markup today about 400%. 400%. So we're not teaching them. Yeah, because the day of the economy. And it might be more than that. It might be 600%, 682% to be exact. Because who pays buy eggs for $10 or $12? Who buy a chicken for $15 or $16? The markup is causing the inflation. That people that already got money, like I explained to people, if you ask for a raise, as they say, be careful what you wish for.
Mm-hmm. Well,
everybody wanted a $15 or $20 raise.
More money, more expectations.
Right. But you're still working for $6.
Right, because when everything else raises around you, it feel like you ain't making no more money. Like, oh yeah, $15 an hour, but my rent is $2,000 a month. So now I feel like so now I feel like I'm in the same hole it was when I was making $720.
Right. So if you was working, if they had bought the prices and let them stay at 7 or 8, maybe 9, inflation wouldn't be at it is. Why?
It wouldn't.
Because everybody's comfortable. The person that don't pay taxes is the person that got all the money.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about they creating jobs. Well,
Right.
no, you're not creating no job. You make people believe that you're creating jobs.
Right.
You're creating pain and suffering.
Really, it's just really all you're doing now.
Right. The haves and the have-nots. I don't need, like I keep telling people, only thing I spend money in is doing my shows.
Right.
I pay the licensing and everything else, and the rest goes to my rent. I'm not going to eat a lot because I'm a diabetic.
Hey, yo, I hear that.
I'm not going to eat because I don't want to go to the doctor. For the doctor bill I just got, and for what he charged for one visit, why ain't he paying more taxes than me?
Out of what he charging.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to say it over, I don't want to say his name or how the system is being stacked up against the working class.
Right.
It's stacked up. That's why everybody got to have insurance.
You got to have it.
Yeah.
No, without it.
Yeah. The government is supposed to buy it because the government is why they can get away with doing what they do with pricing.
Right.
There is no defense for the average man no more. They used to have Ralph Nader, consumer, who always watched the numbers. A lot of things they cut out. We get all the foolishness. Why is you sitting over here when let the debt slide? Don't sign it. Don't pass it. The United States is worth almost $1 zillion in gold. $1 zillion. That's more money than all the countries fighting.
Right.
That's what the United States hold in gold. But they give pity story. We don't have no money. We borrowed. You borrow money so that the people that you borrow money from can't attack you.
Right.
Because once they attack you, their economy is done. Their economy is done. Because most of the stuff we buy comes from China.
It is because they're one of our biggest shareholders too, though.
Huh?
I said they're also one of our biggest shareholders.
Right. So when you sit there and continue to put fear, see, white people fear us because they are taught to fear us or not to fear us, but we are taught to fear them. But our people today ain't fearing nobody.
Oh,
That's
no,
what you. That's why the violence is in our community, because they're saying I ain't fearing nobody.
right.
When you see a kid 6 years old, should know better than to take a gun to school,
should know better and shoot a teacher.
right?
And
She's
right
dead
before,
at
look, and then the year before that, he choked the teacher out.
what?
A kindergarten is choking the teacher out and almost killing her. 5 years old. And you want to blame video games? That's bad parenting. That's not video games.
Yeah, it is.
It ain't amount of Call of Duty.
Hey.
It ain't amount of GTA 5. It ain't amount of
I
Fortnite.
saw that in a video game.
That's not a video. That's not a video game. That's bad. Yeah.
It's
That's
subconscious.
bad parenting.
It's subliminatory. It is. Let me show you something. I took a class in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady showed it in the real estate class. She said, at the end of this real estate course, I'm going to show y'all something. And you can do it too at home. She had a picture. The whole time she was talking, she kept walking back and forth, walking back and forth. It was a black silhouette, like a Washington head, black, in the center of the screen. Nothing on the screen but that silhouette. We in a 500, 600, 700 people in the room.
What?
And when she finished talking, she said, did y'all notice the silhouette on the screen behind me?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said yes. She said, I told you I was going to tell you about that at the end of my session. But what I want you to do is take a good look at that silhouette. Just focus in on it for a few minutes. Is everybody focused on the silhouette? She's still walking back and forth. She said, in a moment, I'm going to have them turn out all the lights in this room.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pitch black. But I want you to stay focused on the silhouette. Just stay focused. Like right now, you see that love in the center of the screen on your side? Just focus on it. Just focus on the LOVE.
Right.
The EVOL. Love. Just keep focusing on it. But what I'm going to do is, if it works with this, are you focusing on it? Don't look at me. Look at that. I'm going to take myself off the screen.
Okay.
Myself back in thing. Could you see it?
I can see it.
Okay. What I want you to do, I'm going to take it off. But when I take it off, you still focus on it.
I'm still focusing on it.
I don't know if it's going to work, but if it does, then I did a great thing. I'm going to take it off. You focus on it, right? You're looking at it.
All right.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is blink your eyes real fast. Can you blink it?
Uh-huh.
Do you see that LOVE? Just blink real fast.
Nah.
It may not work on it because we're on the project. On the thing. But that's what she did. It was on the white screen.
What?
When she told them to turn on the lights. And she told us to blink our eyes real fast. So do you see the silhouette? No, we don't see it. She said, but it's there. I want everybody in the room, blink your eyes real fast. And the silhouette
was right there
on the screen. You know why?
Why?
It's locked into your subconscious. That's what video games, that's what music does.
But if no one's raising you, but at the same time, okay, let's say
I agree with you.
Okay.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you 110%. It comes the parents' job, not the teacher's job, not the principal's job, not the police officer's job,
not the rapper's job, not the video game's job.
But their job is to make money. In order for you for each one of them to make money, they
Right.
got to get you hooked. It's a drug. That's the drug. The hook. Everything got a hook. Your music got a hook.
Right.
The one you repeat. That's the hook. It's in your head.
Right.
I'm gonna bust a cap in that I'm gonna bust a cap in that B. I'm gonna knock her out.
Right. But here's the thing though. But once again, those are just words though.
But but partner, they're not just words. That's the thing. That's the trap. You're thinking it's just words. That's why we going back and forth. But at some point, between now and the next time I talk to you,
right,
your mind's going to tell you you're wrong and he is right. Why? Go listen to a rap song and see how many words you remember of it.
Right.
Listen to a rap song that call a woman a B. Listen to how many times you can repeat it.
Right, but do that mean you're supposed to act on said things?
But that's what your mind does. You have the power to say no.
Right, because I had the parents who taught me right. See, I think that's my bottom line.
Even the person, look at all the people that's killing people. Look at the white people that are killing people. You don't think that parents raised them the right way? That parents say, they go in the store and say, I want that. Oh, you're not getting it, Johnny. Put it back. I am taking this home. You're not going to get it, Johnny. I don't have the money. I'm taking, okay, Johnny. You can take it home. We go in. I'm taking this video game home. Better put that game. Ain't got no money. You get home. He in the room playing the video game. What you playing? Open the door. Where you get that game from? I know you didn't have it. I stole it. You what? See, I can talk because all these scenarios that you're talking about when I was growing up,
right?
I did those things. Not because I wanted to steal, not because I wanted it. My mind said, I bet you can't do it.
Hey, sometimes a bad seed is just a bad seed. Sometimes you can parent the right way. Sometimes you can do all the right things, and your child just come out bad. Sometimes you just
missed the point I gave you. Your mind said, I bet you can't do it.
You said, watch, you said, hold my beer.
No, I'm a kid.
Right. I know.
I'm about 8 or 9 years old. And we didn't have money for candy and stuff. And, my sister be like, Mom told me to take this to go get some coffee or some sugar. Why don't you steal it? And we could take this money and buy some candy with it.
Right.
Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not brought up to steal. But we could get some candy. But we can get some candy. I know you can do it. I'm not.
I bet you can't do it though.
Yeah.
What? Hold on.
Right.
What's the challenge?
The challenge is, I bet you can't do it. I don't think you can do it. I would go.
Let me show you something.
Just because I was challenged, my mind goes to work and said, this is how you do it.
Right.
I will put on a big pair of pants with a belt. She go in the store to get the stuff like cheese and eggs and stuff. Right. I go on the other side and get a 5-pound bag of sugar and stick it in my pants. Pull the belt tight. Go back up to the counter where she is, get the bags, and walk out. Oh, you didn't get it, did you? I told you couldn't get it. What are you talking about? See, I thought you said you can get it so we can get some candy. Well, you want me to stop here in the middle of the street and give it to you? You mean you got it? You got a bag, that 5-pound bag of flour. How did you do that?
It'd have been easier stealing the candy.
No, the candy's behind the counter.
Okay. I about to say the candy bar
like the store today. Pocket. So when I walk in the store, a dollar store, and I see 2 or 3 guys on a dollar store, 7 or 8, 9 years old, I know what they're doing. 2 of them or 3 of them is watch outs, and the other 2 are gonna steal.
Right.
And I'll go over to like, you don't want to do that, partner. What? Do you have money to pay for that? No, sir. Okay. Now let me catch you doing that again because you're going to jail. And hon, here's $1 for each one of y'all. Now go pay for what you want. Secondly, people don't tell kids what the responsibility if you steal something. See, it's called petty theft or grand larceny. But let me show you. They're not giving you the whole scenario. When you heard me earlier, I said the markup today is about 650% markup in food in the stores.
Right.
When you go in the store, there's a markup on everything in there. That candy that I stole, probably at that time, didn't cost but $1 a box. That bag of flour I stole probably was 50 cents for 5 pounds back then. Today it's about $2 or $3. That's the markup. I keep telling you, you got 4 to 5 different places. You got middlemen. Every middleman puts a price on the product before it gets to you, the consumer. When you go in the grocery store, that's when the markup is 300 to 400 or 500%. And they didn't pay nothing but about $30. And you going to jail for the markup.
For the markup price.
That's what you go to jail for.
Right.
You go to jail when you steal something. You go steal clothes, people going in stealing clothes, all these pocketbooks and a name brand stuff. You're going to prison for markup because the person that produced it,
right,
he might get paid millions of dollars because he's like almost getting $1 per garment. And you thought he made it for $1 million. No, son, they got you tricked. You've been, as Malcolm X said, you've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. You've been run amok.
They ain't ran amok on your wallet. That's what they ain't ran.
Right. You around here buying guns are so easy to get. Why?
Right.
Because they cheap.
They cheap.
Those guns that these kids are walking around here with ain't over $300 on the street.
Right.
They probably paying $50, $100, $150. You paying to lose your life. You
for
paying
for $10. You bought that something and lost your life for $50.
Right. And if they broke into somebody's car, you can get the gun for $50 or $100.
Oh yeah.
Or less. Because they want to get rid of it. They want the money. They don't want the gun. Why you think they're selling you the gun?
Because they don't want. Look,
they don't want it.
There's already something wrong with it.
Might be a body on it. If you get caught with it, that body that's on it is yours.
Yep, it's yours.
So they ain't trying to hear nothing. When they run the ballistic test, this was 3 people got shot with this gun. Those 3 people are going to be your 3 people.
Right.
Because you got the gun.
Fact.
See, all the things that we're not sitting down and talking to kids about is what they need to hear. Because if you just want to have fun,
it's better ways to do it.
Right. Because my game, you'll be able to have fun.
And my game, don't nobody die in it.
Right.
But all right, though, Mr. Vine, though, it was nice talking to you, Mr. Vine.
No doubt. Well, we run over almost 2 hours. I had to do about an hour. But again, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
No doubt. Thank you for coming on today. Hope to see you again.
Hope to see you again.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, we out of here. We got engaged and talking and hoping that some people will listen to what the young man said. We all have a responsibility. We all must be dedicated to bringing love back into our community. That's all I've been doing ever since I've been working on the real adventures of Captain 85 and the Captain 85 comic book series, because young people don't ask to be born. They just ask to be loved. I will be editing this down and showing portions of this later on. And until I take it, before I take it down, after I take it down, before I take it down, I'll be editing and putting segments of this on the internet. But remember to love yourself and put God first. Everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you. It's what you think about yourself. Have faith in yourself. Love yourself. And remember to give love and pray. And most of all, pray. Because God hears all our prayers and he will listen to you.